Hey guys, we're live early because we didn't want to wait. I don't know if that's bad. Um, we'll wait a couple minutes to let people come in. Um, but sorry we missed you guys last week. We were being lazy, and I don't know if there was as much to talk about. I mean, we could always we always have like the video, guys. Share if you can. There's always stuff to like discuss, but we're being little lazy bums. Um, uh, and so today we're here to talk about what happened last week, or what this weekend, I guess. It was a crazy couple days where we kind of thought things had calmed down. We talked to Ben 2 weeks ago. We kind of fucked that up, and we might talk about that at the end of this stream or a different one. We did our stream about Ben's possible brain damage, and we kind of like let him up, and I feel like he was, I don't know if he was trying to work his magic on us with his nakedness or whatever. It was kind of weird, but that's something we can talk about later. But like, so Friday night, the 19th of January, Grace goes live. Let's begin this. Friday night, the 19th of January, Grace goes live and says that she's going to pick her brother up, her 11-year-old brother Joey, from wrestling. I don't know if it was a game or practice, and she claims she's going to pick him up, and didn't
Joey like accidentally leave his phone?
Yeah, apparently Joey didn't have his phone with him. And here, I'll actually go to a different screenshot. Apparently Courtney was at work, and Joey was supposed to possibly text his brother Charlie to tell him that he was going to be done. And somehow Charlie didn't get the message, or Joey didn't text him. Somehow Grace got contacted. So here's a screenshot that Ben is saying, this is all in addition to Grace having to race up to Joey's school earlier this evening because he was stranded there with his wrestling coach who couldn't contact his mother. 8 degrees. So what's interesting is Grace was in VC with a lot of us, and she's claiming that, she needs to pick him up, but then she jumps back on VC and says that Charlie picked up Joey and everything was okay. So everyone was kind of like, okay, well that's fine, because let's be honest, if Grace picked up Joey, what are the chances she's with Ben? Because Grace is always with Ben. And Grace doesn't have permission to pick up Joey from Courtney. That's just the truth. Okay. Yeah. So everyone kind of breathes a sigh of relief. Okay, Charlie picked up Joey, he's dropping him back off at home, and then Courtney's gonna get off work, everything's fine. But then all of a sudden, information comes out that Grace has picked up Joey, Courtney's gotten home, and Joey's not there.
Right.
And she has no idea where Joey is. Apparently, she texted Joey. Joey said, "Hey, Mom, I'm with Grace. Grace picked me up on the side of the road, and we're going to get food." Anyway, Courtney, you're going to have to take our word for it. Courtney contacted Grace the night of the 19th, Friday night, multiple times. They wouldn't pick up their phones. Where can you please drop Joey off? Bring back my son. Grace was like, "Sorry, Mom, I can't get a hold of you. Something's weird." And then things seemed like confusing, I guess you could say. So Courtney finally gets a hold of Grace, and we're going to play. Grace posted this call. A call between the night of the 19th, Friday, a call between Courtney and Grace and Joey, but we edited his voice out. So let's begin this. Joey gets home. Somehow Grace picks him up. Courtney gets home. There's no note left, no text. Her son is just not at home, and then has to text Joey. Joey says, "I'm with Grace."
Mm-hmm.
And this is a call to give you context as to what was happening. So let's listen to this call between Courtney and Grace.
Hello?
Joe.
This is Grace.
Hey.
Hey.
You need to bring Joey back right now.
We're at McDonald's just eating.
What, on what road? On Reservoir?
Just a McDonald's.
You
Yeah.
need to bring him back right now.
She's already like not being specific about where they are.
I don't need to. It's up to him. If he wants to go back, I'll bring him back.
Okay, so keep in mind, she's saying, I don't need to bring him back. It's up to Joey. Joey's 11.
Mhm.
Courtney has legal guardianship. And she's saying, oh, I'll only bring Joey back if he wants to go back.
Right.
And of course, and then also, like you said, she didn't admit to where she was.
Yeah. When she was like, okay, you're at McDonald's, the
On
one
this road.
over there. And she was like, just a McDonald's, you can tell what she's doing.
Mhm.
She, she's pushing the limits of this whole interaction. And I think that by giving her little bits of information, but not exact stuff, that's a way to like loophole and say, I'm keeping you informed. I've kept her informed the whole time. But it's clear that how hard it was to get a hold of her. There was like no real logic around that. It like doesn't make any sense why Courtney couldn't get a hold of Joey, and then Joey was kind of just like wanting to text her back, which we'll get to that.
We can't show that stuff right now, but yeah, here's the call list.
You do need to, and that's what needs to happen. You need to bring him back.
Okay, well, he doesn't want to go back right now, so.
So she's taking Joey to McDonald's and won't tell Courtney where he's at.
We're just gonna have our meal. If you want to talk about it, we can, but I mean...
I don't want to talk about it, Grace.
Okay.
You took Joey.
No, I
You need to
didn't.
bring him back.
I didn't take
You
him.
need to bring him back.
She says she didn't take him. What does that mean? She didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't take Joey. But she did. She did take Joey. They're at McDonald's together.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous lie. Like flat out. It's just a stupid lie, you know.
Yeah, you do.
No, I
You know,
didn't.
like,
I didn't take him.
if maybe I can try to tell you that, like, Joey does not deserve this treatment. He's not like pawn in a
Yeah, Joey does not deserve this treatment. He's not a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a game, right?
game.
Yeah.
He's a human being. He's your brother.
He was hungry. I'm getting him some food.
You're hurting him by doing this. You shouldn't do it.
Nah, he was starving. I'm getting him some food.
Very bad what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna have our meal, and then I'll let you know. I'll text you. He'll text you too, okay?
No. If you don't bring him back
Bye.
right now, I'm calling the cops.
Okay, then I'll call the cops. You can do whatever you want.
I mean, do people think that Courtney shouldn't call the cops? Like, your kid's been taken by, even if it's a sister who's 21, she has no legal guardianship. And then let's be honest, Grace lives with Ben. Ben has a restraining order against Courtney and all the kids. So it makes no sense to think this is a good idea. And she can't trust. Those are more reasons why Courtney can never trust Grace.
Mm-hmm.
She just picked him up. We'll get into the whole story where Grace claims she just saw him on the side of the road, but yet the story that we've heard is that Joey came home after Charlie dropped him off, got $30 from his mom, and then was like, hey, Mom, I'm going to walk to the Chinese food restaurant, which is, by the way, a 2-minute walk.
Mm-hmm. It's like
right
around the corner from where they live. So, I mean, her claim is pretty crazy.
She wasn't.
she was just waiting there, you know?
Right. Because that's the thing. We're supposed to believe that Grace went from trying to pick Joey up at the basketball game. Charlie got him, so she couldn't do it. And then they just happened to be in the exact neighborhood / right by Courtney's house. That's a lot. Come on.
The
give me a
story
break.
doesn't make any sense.
Right. Because they knew that Joey had been dropped off at home.
Well,
so
and, you know, bringing up what happened before when she just came over. We went over that thing like a couple weeks ago, but when she just popped in at like 6 a.m. and she was kind of already waiting there for Joey outside when she knew he would be going to the bus station and like wanted to take him to school and stuff. It's like
we'll get into this. Sorry. I feel like let's just finish this. My bad.
Yeah.
I don't control you, but I don't have to bring him right back, so it's up to you. You can talk to him. If he wants to go back, I'll bring him back.
I would like to talk to him. Yeah.
Okay, he's right here. Go ahead.
Joey, keep in mind we took Joey's voice out, so it says Joey says I don't want to go back.
Joe, it doesn't matter if you want to come back or not. I'm telling you, you need to come back.
Wait.
Yeah.
So he says, well, aren't I my legal guardian?
It's kind of like, I think something that came from Grace, right? Like, why would he say that? Yeah.
He's not their legal guardian.
He's not his own legal guardian now. Mm-mm.
Right. You're 11. I was 11. You were 11. There's stuff we wanted to do, and we can't do it. We can't always do it, you know?
Yeah.
You can decide whether or not you want to come back. You cannot. It tells you whether or not you can do something or can't do something. You need to come back now.
Well, the fact of the matter is, if he doesn't want to, the cops are not going to haul him off.
I understand that you think you have that, and that's whatever.
I don't think I have that. I know I have that because that's what happened with Maggie.
So they're referring to the fact that in the summer, I believe it was, Maggie, there was a fight. Maggie and Grace went off together to Grace and Ben's. I'm not sure what all the details were, but eventually Courtney came to get Maggie and the cops were called, and the cops wouldn't take Maggie from Grace's and give Maggie to Courtney. I think the issue is that cops they feel this is a family matter, so the cop doesn't want to arrest a teenage girl. I think that's their idea. We don't want to take a teenage girl kicking and screaming. I don't fully understand it. But Grace and Ben understand the loopholes, which is, Ben's not there. He's just downstairs in the other apartment we own.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And then they understand that the cops don't want to. This situation doesn't really make any sense. This isn't like if Ben took Maggie or Joey, then it would be simple kidnapping. Because it's Grace, it's kind of confusing. But we'll see eventually. The cops were on Courtney's side. That's how Joey eventually got back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, fine. I don't really care. Whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I want the boy back.
The boy?
I want him back. Yeah,
the boy?
I want him back.
He's right here.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him.
He's right here. You can talk to him. You're on speakerphone.
Okay, Joe? He can't hear me Joe, I want you back home. That's it. You need to come back home. And like you telling me you don't want to come back, I don't care. I don't care if you don't want to come back. You have to come back home.
Maybe he could stay the night over at Warren with me, and then I could take him back tomorrow if he wants to do that. Have a little sleepover.
No. Joe.
I mean, Courtney's putting her foot down, and Grace is basically playing this game of like, I can't control Joey.
Right.
He wants to stay with me. What can I do? It's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw with that fight that Grace had where she showed up at the house in the morning. There's a similar kind of getting the kids upset or getting them.
Yeah, she rouses a certain defiance or like anger. It's super easy to do with kids when you're like, hey, doesn't your mom suck? Your mom won't let you have like candy before dinner. That's like awful, isn't it? You can make any kid be like, that is the worst thing. I hate my mom.
Right.
And, you know, I think that is her MO every time, is like, how do I get Joey upset with Courtney? How do I like utilize how he already feels that day to push
Get
it
into
on
this-
Courtney? And like,
right.
yeah.
You live under my roof, Joe. If you tell Grace that you want her to take you home now, and she'll take you home.
Yeah, I will if he wants to, yeah.
Yeah. And Joe, that would be like the good thing to do. No,
Joey says, what would be the bad thing to do to kind of get into a game of, would it be bad if I stay with
it would be
Grace?
the good thing.
Sorry.
I've told you. So you should make it a priority to come back home. Tell Grace you want her to take you home.
Well, I don't need to tell Grace that you want me home.
And rest. Wake up tomorrow and go to your meet on whatever Sunday.
This sounds like brainwashing right now. It sounds like you're brainwashing him, honestly. You're telling him what to say. It seems weird. That seems fun.
I mean, but by the way, this is how Ben and Grace do their thing, which is, my alarm. This is how Ben and Grace do their thing, which is to the moment that Courtney goes beyond, you know, it's just bring my son home. They take anything that you say and nitpick it and dissect it. So I think my cat keeps jumping in.
And I think Grace really wanted it to be like, this should be a conversation between you and Joey about how, like, you know, you're a bad mom to Joey, and like, you know, it's all really
this whole thing about brainwashing, I think, is interesting because Courtney, I think, was just trying to talk to Joey and be like, hey, you know, why don't you come home? But I guess to Grace, it's this idea of brainwashing, even though the real brainwashing is from Ben and maybe Grace. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
It's true. Yeah.
But this is what everyone needs to realize with Ben and Grace. The moment you go beyond, I'm not doing this, or this person needs to come home, if you say anything, they pounce on it and dissect it, and you get into this loop of nonstop conversation.
Trying to help him out because he's being used badly.
Seems like brainwashing. I don't know. To me, it seems like brainwashing. That's just me, though.
Joey's 11, Maggie's 14, Tommy's 16. I believe Charlie is 17 or 18. John is 19, 20, and Grace 21.
Yeah, Grace, you're 21 years old. You should really have some care and concern for your brother.
I do. That's why I'm feeding him right now. You left him home alone with no food.
So again, it's you left him home alone with no food. She gave him $30 to go get Chinese food. By the way, literally around the block, 2-minute walk away. When I was an 11-year-old kid, I walked to get food down the street all the time. It's not anything crazy.
That's not true.
Okay. Well, he was hungry, so I'm feeding him.
Turn right onto Fall River Avenue, then use any lane to turn left onto US 6 East.
If you want to act like not such a dictator, then we can have a conversation. But
Head west
you're
toward Fall River Avenue.
No.
Again, this is this idea that what they want is for Courtney, and we'll see this later, to play ball with them. If Courtney agrees to certain things like, okay, you can have Joey for this long, then they'll go, okay, we'll give Joey back. Because they don't really want to take care of Joey.
No, she actually says that later. We'll see it, but she totally says that. She's like, yeah, I don't care. It's not like I want him to live with me. I mean, I want Courtney to be his mom. So it's like this insane thing to say. But
they use the kid to fuck with Courtney. I mean,
you roboted for a second. Can you just repeat that last thing?
Oh, we know they use the kids to mess with Courtney as pawns. Right. Sorry.
No. Oh, can I get a?
We're not doing that.
Okay. Yeah, right. I know you're not doing that. Yeah.
Can I get a 20-piece McNugget?
Yeah, you can get a 20-piece. 10-piece.
Oh yeah, 10-piece.
Would you like to go to McDonald's, Joe, and then come back here? and then get a ride back here?
Can I see if I want to?
That's the best I can do for you, Joe. You go get some McDonald's, and then she takes you back here. Would you like to come back here after you
Or
get
else
some
she'll call the cops.
No, I don't. So Grace, I think what's interesting is Grace kind of signals to Joey, no, play the game with us. Play the game. The moment you, and we'll learn that Courtney eventually just starts saying, bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. Because the moment you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Mm-hmm.
The best she can do, Joe.
Joe, like, I'm not, like, asking you. I'm trying to, like, work with you. I'm not asking.
Okay, so that's the end of that. Do we want to start with the beginning of the video now?
Yeah, do you want to talk about these though? Like the
Okay, yeah,
some of
we
the
could do that.
screenshots are
Yeah.
it'll be good for I think context.
How can you hear the rain in the background?
I can't hear it. No,
Okay.
it's just kind of like I can hear outside of my headphones.
Okay. So so now we're gonna go into the next day. Grace, we know that Courtney called the police. The police apparently went to Grace and Ben's. Ben was apparently made to sleep in the downstairs because I don't know if you guys realize, but the way that Ben and Grace's apartment that they rent works is they have a second floor that they live on, and then there's a first floor that's like a it's also a living space. It's where Darius slept, if anyone knows what we're talking about. And also there's a bunch of random junk in there. So Ben was put onto the second, sorry, I guess it's the first floor, and Grace and Joey are on the second floor. It's a kind of way to outsmart the cops. And apparently the cops talked to Grace and they chose not to take Joey out of the house. So the cops allowed Joey to I guess, be in Grace's because I guess they didn't want to take the kid out, which I think is ridiculous. I think it's a failure of the police. Maybe to them, I've heard that the police are confused by the situation.
Yeah,
because it's we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a minute. Like the cops are very confused because they're like, "Oh, this is like a one-time thing, isn't it?" And even that they say like, "Oh no, this has happened before." And
well, right, but to them, it's like, how often is the dad that has a restraining order? We see stuff about familial kidnappings all the time. Like my mom or dad doesn't have
custodial rights,
custody, and then they kidnap the kid. We've seen that, but this is like a dad who's in a kind of relationship with the sister, and the sister takes the kid, and the dad is like clearly in on it, but there's no proof of it.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's constantly happening. It's like Ben is always in on it, but he's always making sure to be downstairs. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's bragged about the loopholes that he does know about you. I mean, on like one video, I remember him saying something like, "Oh, I'm not worried about
both of
this whole thing because
this is both of our channels."
He said like he wasn't worried about like the legal stuff because he can get around it. Like he's said those words. Like he's very much like. I mean, he shares too much information.
Well, we already know that he lied. I mean, we could even go back.
Right.
Like if we go back to hold on. If we go to this thing, Ben says on our way back to Warren, the RV started making crazy noises, and
then we hear every story that you hear from here on out that Grace tells of that whole thing. She says my car started getting noisy. There's a clear and she doesn't use the word we except for like one time she slips up. I think she did say we.
Right.
So it's just inconsistencies in the story because it's like this one it's like Ben's with Grace. They're in the RV together and the RV started making noise. So they pulled over, and then his story has to do with the fact that they just saw Joey, so she went back to get the car and then came to go check if Joey was okay.
Do you guys realize how this makes no sense?
It makes no sense. Yeah.
So the idea is that Ben and Grace are in the RV, and And then they have, I guess, the other car like trailing behind them because they have that trailer. I don't know. And then somehow Ben makes sure to leave, and then Grace picks up Joey. The whole thing is just ridiculous. I mean,
I don't think they were towing the car. Like
whatever happened, you know, we know. I don't think Ben was necessarily with
the tail.
I don't necessarily. Usually it's the dog giving us problems. I don't necessarily think it's either way. This was their plan, in my opinion. And the idea that it's just this random.
They're not getting the story straight, though. That's for sure.
Yeah,
like,
that's what we're seeing.
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's go into the next day. So if we go into the next day, the cops don't do anything. They don't take Joey back. Oops. And sorry. And Courtney has to sleep without her son. She has to sleep in bed. Doesn't know where she goes. Worried about her kid. Then Grace texts Courtney and says, "Hey, do you want to arrange a pickup or what's up?" Courtney texts, "Bring Joey back now."
Mm-hmm.
And then the answer is, "Oh my God, rude. Why?" So we'll see later on. Grace claims to the cop she was always down to give Joey back. That was never an issue. She was always going to give Joey back. But the moment you think if Grace is being good faith, if saying, "Hey, bring Joey back," she just say, "Okay, I'm bringing Joey back."
Mm-hmm.
But she's not being good faith. She says, "Oh my God, rude. Why?" It's this weird game. So if we go to the second screenshot, these are all screenshots Grace posted in her server. Like, that's just a demand. I didn't say, "Hey, what are your demands about Joey?" Did I? Courtney, he needs to be back by noon. Will he be back by then? Why does he need to be back by noon? He was a bit freaked out when I told him the police came last night. He seems conflicted. Please bring Joey back. She's just repeating
weird
this.
punishment. Yeah.
Because this is, don't you see what's happening?
Yeah.
You want to explain it, what Courtney's doing, and then what, I guess Courtney is just doing these really simple answers, because if she says anything more, rip her apart. It's gonna be a looping dissection of every word, right?
Right. So, but at this point, it's just like horrible harassment on, like, for Courtney as the recipient of this like attack, being like, you know what? Let's play like this game instead. You're not gonna get to see your kids. You tried, and what the fuck?
It says, "Do you think that they wanted Courtney to go get Joey from the apartment so she breaks the restraining order, making it void?" That might be part of it. You know what I mean? I think
I agree with that 100%. I think it was like a weird way to be like, no, you should come and get him, and you should come here and stuff like that, for sure. But then also like being like, you called the cops, so Joey thinks you're crazy. He's never coming back. Maybe, I don't know. It's up to him.
Right. So
you shouldn't have done that or whatever.
Right. So, like, that's the thing. That's why Courtney keeps, in my opinion, keeps saying, "Please bring Joey back." What she's trying to say, there's the cat again, is I'm not going to go over there and pick him up, because that would be, Ben lives there. I don't want to break the restraining order. If Courtney's ever going back to court, if she's going to divorce Ben, we don't know. It would be a really bad idea to even play with the idea of breaking the restraining order.
She is like luring her into this dark, awful cavern, and it's like, all right, come and get him. I have your son.
Right. So it's like, please bring Joey back. Bro, talk to him. You're not even responding to his texts. I told you, if he says he wants to come back, I'll bring him back. No problem. So there's this thing where Grace was wanting to get Courtney to like text Joey to make this game about talking to Joey. And again, it's like, Grace, you control Joey right now. There might be texts between Courtney and Joey. I haven't seen them. Bring him back. We're not going to play this long game. And that's what they want to do. Look, here again, I want my son back. Why not just put the gun down and we can work together? I guarantee you that Dad has no plans to ever talk with you again. He appreciates you making that decision. This is Ben, in my opinion. This is fucking Ben. This sounds like Ben. This is not Grace, in my opinion. I I want my son back. You have lost him and all of us. Stop driving us away. It's not too late. We get it. You're angry. Nobody cares. I want my son back, etc. So let's see.
Should we
And
go to
then the last one is, hey mom, let's make the situation a win for everybody. How about I take Joey over to the bowling alley? And it seems like it's this like,
you can come by with whoever and bowl with them. She's like trying to force her to bowl
and
like,
break
I
the
don't know.
restraining order, in my opinion. But also it's this
Yeah,
idea.
right. She
Oh,
just
come
wants
on.
to control things, like, you know. Yeah, for sure.
Make a game with them, like make a deal with us. Stop
Right.
being so
Yeah,
harsh.
comply.
Yeah, comply with us, Courtney. Make a deal with us. Let us know we won and that you're flexible, right? And so
Yeah.
we're gonna go to Grace's stream now. But what I want to say is what happened was Courtney called the police again, and from my understanding, the police finally said, "Hey guys," like finally said, "We're gonna get your son back. You go over there, Courtney. We will make sure that he comes back." I don't know exactly what was said. I wasn't privy to it, but that's my understanding. And Grace was somehow warned in advance. Grace, this is insane. Grace was somehow warned in advance that the cops were coming. I don't know how.
Oh,
Well, somebody warned him.
right.
Let's not get into it.
Yeah.
Somebody warned him. I think she might even says Tommy told her actually in the video. And so then Grace calls the cops, takes Joey, drives him to a gas station, and then they decide to meet up at the police station to do a drop off. So I believe that if Courtney hadn't have had the cops finally say, yes, we are going to get this kid back, who knows how long they would have had Joey. Maybe they would have gotten tired of him, but I think it would have been a much longer game.
Ordeal. Yeah.
So let's go to Grace streaming. Sorry, that was a lot of information, but we kind of want to give you guys the evidence that we have that Grace posted. And thanks, Grace. And give you kind of a timeline of events. Now it begins, the stream begins with Grace taking Joey to the police station to do the drop off. Okay? All right, guys.
Yo, what's up, gang? What's up, gang? We're live. Live from the farms.
I think she had said good morning,
And,
guys, and then Joey corrected her.
I'm on my
that
way.
It was 2 p.m.
To go drop my brother off. Where is the chat? Off. The shirt? I can bring that over sometime. Okay.
Joey says he needs like his wrestling shirt.
He left it.
with Grace.
Yeah. And he says like, well, you know, I need that on
For
Monday. And
practice.
she kind of just like, okay, all right. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, this is in regard to, Joey says this is kind of disgusting. He's talking about a gas station hot dog that he had gotten earlier. He's not eating it. So he's like, what do I do with this?
Joey says this is getting kind of disgusting.
Just keep it in your pocket.
This is weird. It's funny. Grace says keep the disgusting soggy hot dog in your pocket, which is kind of funny. I'll give her that.
I think her mind is on the game. You know,
Right,
her head is in the game, and she's like not paying attention to Joey's needs or what he's saying. So it's just like, you know,
right. Keep in my pocket.
Sorry, in between your legs. So I'm in the car with Joe, headed over to drop him off at the police station at my mom's in Warren. Why am I dropping my brother off at the police station? Because my mother has requested that I do so. I was headed home last night. My car was sounding funny.
There you go. There's a
over.
contradiction.
So let's look at the
Between
contradiction,
stories.
you guys. Ben says on our way back home, the RV started making crazy noises because there's an RV and then the Grace's car. So there's a lie right there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
happened to be in my mom's area.
She just happened to be in.
Yeah,
Sorry, I posted. She just happened to be in her mom's area even after she had already gone to pick up Joey from the game, the wrestling match. So we know that's just bullshit. They knew that Joey had just been dropped off at home. That's just a complete lie.
Yeah, and then this shows that Ben was there the whole time, right? Like he was in the RV. Apparently, that's what he said.
Right. He was there in the RV when they went to go get Joey. I don't know if Ben was secretly there or if he did drive home separately, but we don't know.
And I saw Joey walking around outside, my 11-year-old brother.
This must have been
he recognized my car
right outside.
He was like,
their house.
And I was like,
of where
hey, what are you doing?
Courtney lives.
He was like, oh, well, I'm home alone. And there's no food.
Right, Rusty?
So
if they saw him walking
to the Chinese place, right?
Then they must have been
I was like,
right outside of their house.
Let me just pick you up and go take you to get some food. This is ridiculous.
Right, because again, this idea of Joey walking the Chinese place, if you were to look at the map, is literally just one little house away, like a block,
right.
2-minute
walk. Where that puts them is literally right there.
Courtney's
like
house.
They're outside, just kind of hanging out, and they're
waiting
like,
for
I
Joey.
just saw him. It doesn't even make any sense why it'd be like, oh, my car broke down right outside of Courtney's house. So I stopped and then randomly saw Joey walking a block over. Like,
right.
Why are you walking around? It's 8 degrees outside. So I took him to get some McDonald's. Called my mom. She said I had to bring him home right away. I said, why? She said, you just have to. And I said, well, I actually don't have to. But if he wants to go home, I'll drive him home if you want. But we're just out getting out there. Why doesn't he have a babysitter? Rose 11 shouldn't be home alone like that. That's not.
So the time between Joey getting dropped off and Courtney getting off from work, I believe, was like
an hour
to 45 minutes.
Right.
Like,
so the story goes is that he did get dropped off by Charlie. And then Charlie dropped him off, left. There was only, like a tiny period that he would have been home alone before Courtney got back home.
And I'm sorry, like when I was 11, I think it was probably about 9 or 10. My mom would do errands, have work stuff, and I would be left alone for a couple hours. It's not that crazy at all.
Yeah.
All right. So she starts talking to him. She says, Joe, you have to come home right now. I told him you don't have to, but if you want to, I'll drive you back.
I told him you don't have to.
Right.
No, it's already like a kind of suggestive thing to do to a kid. Right. You don't have to go home. It's up to you. You don't have to listen to your mom. And that's fucked up.
Right.
He's like, nah, I'd rather sleep over with Grace. Okay. So he stays over my apartment. We have some McDonald's.
Again, this is all very nonchalant, you guys. Courtney begged for her son to come back home. I said no. I mean, just deal with it, bitch. So whatever. What? Just deal with it. I mean, I just happened to be living with the guy who has a restraining order.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Yeah. Stop freaking out about that.
It's chill.
This is the video.
Guess who got called? So I showed them into the apartment. My dad wasn't there. He was downstairs in the office. They were like, oh no, we don't want to wake the little guy up. We just want to make sure the restraining order's not being and say hi to him.
This was being choppy because Grace's internet was going out, but she's saying that the cops eventually came and they wanted to make sure the restraining order wasn't being broken. So I guess, they do this loophole, like we say in our title, where Ben is on the first floor, that they both own these first and second floors, and Grace is on the second floor. It's a little goofy loophole, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
That'd be ridiculous. That'd be risk. The police feel they have the right to do that. Okay.
So Joey did not know that the cops came. It made me feel kind of funny. Like, did they go? Is she lying? Yeah, that was my first instinct. Was like, because Joey basically catches her here, and he's like, she's saying the cops came over while Joey was asleep, and then Joey's like, wait, I didn't know that the police came. And she goes, yeah, they did. So I don't know, that to me felt weird. Like I mean, I don't know what the motive would be behind that, like lying about the cops coming over, but it did feel strange. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably did come over, but you never know with Grace. That's my guess.
Yeah, right.
So this person says, first floor is a garage, they put a bed in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't wake you up. But
I don't know, that kind of explanation seems kind of odd. Like,
I mean, I can see the cops coming at like 1 a.m. and he's asleep, but whatever. I don't know.
Now I have to deal with the police again. Why? Well, I texted my mother this morning at around 7:30. I said, hey, you know, I could drop Joey off. Or do you want to arrange a pickup or something like that? You know,
right?
What's going on?
She just said that she said this morning she woke up and she texted her mom, hey, I could drop Joey off.
Well, no, she says you want to arrange a pickup. Right.
I know.
Why? Right. So let's look at the actual text. Hey, so do you want to arrange a pickup or what's up?
Yeah, or what's up? She didn't say, hey, I can drop Joey off, which was what Courtney wanted, you know. So it's clearly not true.
Right.
She says, you need to bring Joey back right now. I was like, what is this, like, demand thing? Do you want to arrange a drop-off? You're acting totally crazy, and I don't have to interact with you doing this. She texted Joe. Joe asked her a couple questions. She didn't respond to him. She said, hang on, I'm talking to Grace. I was like, okay. Then I get a text from my brother. I said to my mom, I said, we could go over to the bowling alley across the street from my apartment. I can drop Joey off. You can go bowling with him and Maggie, you know? I'll leave. I got plans today. My dad has a severe shoulder injury.
Okay, whatever. She's just going on and on, but the point is like, why if you want to bring the kid back, just bring the kid back. But it's like, no, I will only bring back Joey if Courtney jumps through these weird hoops and does whatever we want in this very specific way.
And isn't demanding with her requests to have her son back. Like, it's weird because she like claims that she offered to drop Joey back. She didn't. And then she said, oh, when my mom said drop him off right now, like, yeah, like there's no effort of compliance on Grace's part. She wants this to be really difficult, and I think she made that happen, you know.
I think it's a pinched nerve or something, but he needs help for it, so I want to get him to a hot tub. So those are my plans, and I need to make that happen because it's been getting worse and worse. But he doesn't currently have a primary care physician, so we're going with the hot tub strategy.
Joey's like 11. He's like he should go to a chiropractor.
Yeah.
That's actually
I gotta get out of here to go.
She doesn't care at all what Joey said.
He gave us kind of insight, like, you know, maybe Dad should go to a chiropractor to see it, like, for his back. And she's just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And he's like, that's actually like a better option. Probably he was gonna say something like, probably better than
I'm not sitting
a hot tub
for her to come pick him up. So I get a text from my brother. I'm communicating with her. I'm texting her. I'm saying, I can drop him at Dudek. You can come pick him up. What's up? Like, I'm not doing this demand thing, but if you want to come get him, she doesn't even ask him.
Wait, when did she say you want to come get him? Let's look at that. Did she ever say no? All that she said was, let's make the situation a win for everybody. It's like this idea of like, it has to be a win for Ben and Grace. How about I take Joe over to Dudek Lanes, the bowling alley. You can come by with whoever. There was nothing about like a drop off or whatever. It was like, you have to go
bowling.
You have to go bowling with us, and you have to like
comply with this ridiculous request. Yeah. And that would be a win. Oh, hey, we got Courtney to do this arbitrary thing that we wanted
Right.
her to do.
But that's what it's always about. If you guys watch the old Shamu videos and stuff, the documentaries, it's always about this game. Like he even says that in the first one with John. It's always some kind of like, this is the thing you have to do if you want to be fed, if you want to have a place to stay, and if you don't, I will always say I can control that thing, whether it's John's apartment that he dangled over him or Joey.
She wants him to if he wants her to pick her up, to pick him up. Then I get a text from my brother Tom. What's the text? Mom is coming over with the police.
Okay, so it's Tom warned Grace, and
Yes.
Tommy, the 16-year-old, and that was when, from what I understand, Courtney had finally talked to the police multiple times, and they finally said, "Yes, we're gonna get the kid with you. We're gonna make sure Joey comes with you." They weren't gonna do the thing they did with Maggie, where they just let Maggie go back with Grace. And I think once Grace realized that on their turf they were gonna have to give Joey up, she decided to be like, "Oh, just drop him off at the cops," so Courtney couldn't get a win, even though it's all bullshit. There's no win. It's not a game, Grace.
It is to her. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
This is there's nothing more important
So I'm
than,
like, okay,
than winning for
What the
Ben,
hell
or
does
winning,
that
not getting,
she's not communicating with me. She didn't even ask me if he wanted to get picked up. What the fuck? I have to sit here and wait for the police? I didn't do anything. What is this police
that's a good
game?
point, Audio.
So I called the Warren police office, and they said, yeah, your mom requested that we come over. If she comes over to pick him up, you're not in any trouble, but she wants us to come over to keep the peace or whatever. And I was like, okay, I understand that. And then I called them back and I was like, well, but did she tell you any time that she was coming? Because she's not responding to my texts. So I don't know when she's coming over, and I have plans today. I can't just sit around waiting.
So this is total
kinda
bullshit.
yeah.
This is total, in my opinion. It's like, okay, well,
I have plans to get my dad into a hot tub.
so yeah, so me and Joey have to leave. If you're coming over, I have to leave now. My plan is to drop him off at the police station. It's just, that was her cope that she told the cops,
Yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Over a McDonald's meal.
No, it's not over a McDonald's meal. It's about you taking Joey, you were not the legal guardian of, without the permission of your mother, Courtney. That's that's it. It's not about nuggets, 20-piece nuggets, 10-piece nuggets.
And a sleepover. This is ridiculous. This is a waste of police time. I am not a disturbance to the peace. She didn't even ask me if she could come pick him up, if I would be around at that time. It's utterly ludicrous.
She likes to put herself.
So I told the police, I was like, I'd rather just drop him off with you to avoid
being like
you
the
having to
real
come out.
mom.
The real mom.
Yeah, like the way she's like, she didn't even ask me to come and pick him up. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird.
Again, she didn't ask you to pick him up because she doesn't want to break the restraining order. Ben is there. It's pretty simple. Duh.
Here, it's so ludicrous. But she won't respond to me. So I have no idea when she's coming, but I just can't sit around here. Do you want me to just drop him off at the station? Like, what is this game? So the police officer was like, okay, I'll call her. Can you give me her number? I understand this is frustrating. I'll try to arrange it with her. So the police officer calls her. She calls me back and she says, your mom will be there within the hour and she'll text you when she's on her way.
And she was.
My point is, number one, this is a waste of police resources. But number two, this all could have been avoided. This is utterly ridiculous. I am not a disturbance to the peace. I've been communicating with my mother. She went full psychotic.
She went full psycho. I just took the kid in the middle of the night and didn't leave. Oh, by the way, it would have been bad enough, but they didn't text Courtney and say, hey, we got Joey. I mean, that's still bad, but at least do that. No.
This is what they wanted, is her to be scared and then be like,
she was.
Oh, it's my fault. They're so delusional, but that's how they see it.
when they got what they wanted, Courtney came home from a long fucking night and day at work to her son being gone, which is like every kid's fear, or every mother's fear.
That's the worst. Yeah.
And then luckily, you know, she texted.
It's terror. Let's just say that. Like it
Yes.
is a literal terror to do. You're terrorizing your
Yes,
mother.
they are terrorizing Courtney. You
Mhm.
know. Oops, sorry guys.
Whoops.
I fucked up. Okay.
You're
Let's
fine.
see.
What the hell does that mean? She's not communicating with me. She didn't even ask me if he wanted to get picked up. What the fuck? I have to sit here and wait for the police? I didn't do anything.
Oh, this is a really good point. I just want to show it. Didn't they do this while Courtney was at work too? So Courtney has to have anxiety at work, worrying if her kids will get taken again. Yeah, every time she works now, she has to worry about her kids being kidnapped. Yes.
Every time you do that, you put it
What
to
is this
like
police
the screen
game?
where it's just our faces. You go all like
look
robot.
weird.
You look, yeah, it's crazy.
Oh,
looking.
okay. So I'm sorry. I
No, you're good. I just wanted
no,
to
it's
tell
all
you.
good. Thank you for telling me, babe. I agree with Dark Tina, and yes, she's worried every time she works now.
Yeah.
So I called
Awful
the Warren
to do.
police office, and they said, yeah, your mom requested that we come over for a McDonald's meal and a sleepover. This is ridiculous. This is a waste of police time. I am not a disturbance to the peace.
We don't know that
She
Courtney
didn't
hasn't
even
done that,
ask
right?
me
Oh.
if she could come pick him up, if I would be around at that time. It's utterly ludicrous. So I told the police, I was like, I'd rather just drop him off with you to avoid you having to come out here. This is so ludicrous. But she won't respond to me. And she says, your mom will be there within the hour and she'll text you when she's on her way. Now, my point is, number one, this is a waste of police resources. But number two, this all could have been avoided.
Is this really a waste of police resource? I mean, this is finally the police did their job, which is somebody who doesn't have any permission or right to pick my child up without my permission, and then refuse to return him for a full almost 24 hours. I guess what it would be closer to like 12 or something. I don't know. From 10 p.m. to like 2 p.m. It's literally what police are for. I'm sorry.
Utterly ridiculous. I am not a disturbance to the peace. I've been communicating with my mother. She went full psychotic silent mode on me. She didn't send one text saying, what if I pick him up at 1 p.m.?
No, she didn't want to pick him up. She kept saying, just drop him off. That was the whole thing.
I didn't even get to ask him if he wanted to get picked up by her. He's sleeping over. She knows exactly where he is. Hang on, I'll have that later. She knows exactly where he is. He's sleeping over, and I got him fucking McDonald's and told her all about it. And now I'm here at the fucking police station. It's absolutely ludicrous. Waste of everyone's time involved.
So where should I put this hot dog?
I mean, I just wanted to add, like, the fact that she's, doing this in front of Joey and being like, this is so ludicrous, and painting Courtney as if she's being like unreasonable. It's so messed up. Yeah. It's just manipulative.
Right. This is all being said in front of Joey.
Yeah.
Can I take a donut?
Yes.
I don't want the coffee. Oh, shocker, 11-year-old kid doesn't want coffee.
Here we are. Whoa, that's greasy. Now my camera. Did you at least figure out Joey's Apple ID?
That's what I asked.
Old phone.
It
did.
It was kind of a joke about how like
an ongoing thing.
The last recording when Grace showed up at Courtney's house before school, all Joey really cared about was like asking about the Apple ID, and Grace was
it
just
never gets figured out for him.
Right. Apparently, and so even now they didn't figure it out.
No, like what he says. He's
I'm
gonna have to figure it out.
So they didn't figure it out for him, even after all that.
So he says you should say that I'm here and that we're walking up.
I mean,
He says
giving good
something like
advice.
that. He's saying, you know, we shouldn't just do this dramatically. I think he's
Poor
like,
guy
I
who's
don't want this to
starving.
be
What?
dramatic. This is fucked up.
Right,
At least in his little kid mind. Imagine
That's
like
my
why
guess.
he would say that. He's like, I don't want this to be dramatic. Please just tell her that I'm here now, that you're here with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wandering the streets at 10:30, looking for Chinese food. I mean, what kind of a mother would
The way
just let
she
her
says
child
this.
roam about the streets? She's not even there to take care of him. Home alone, starving?
It's like this exaggerative thing that you're doing in front of a kid, and she's laughing. Let's just be honest.
Right,
She's
she
kind
even
of
knows it's a joke.
smiling.
Yeah.
And I think, like, imagine you're with a kid who knows what you're saying isn't true, and so you would be like overly exaggerated. Imagine, like, your cat, like, flew across the street. Isn't that
Right,
great? Like, you're like trying to make him like go along with it by being like, "Isn't this funny?"
Isn't this
I think,
crazy?
yeah, isn't this kind of funny? Like, you could go along with that and be, you know, not the butt of the joke, but like, you
Right.
know,
On the
I don't
brink of
know.
starvation in 8-degree weather?
The brink of
It's so yeah. It's just like
Courtney just had just cash apped Joey $30 for the Chinese food. She knew exactly where Joey was going, that he was walking 2 minutes to get Chinese food. She just given him money to do it. Nobody was neglected. Grace just
10:30 p.m. an 11-year-old child? Hey, thank you for the $10, by the way.
some goofy simp weirdo. Okay, so there's like a weird Joey said some mean thing about Courtney when you see
I think,
cigarette
well,
butts on the
remember what I
ground.
just said? Hey, don't you want to be a part of this joke? Be mean. Like, I don't know. I do think it's a part of that, him wanting to please his sister by being like, I'm a part of it. I like, look, when you see these cigarette butts, as if Grace and Ben aren't like smoking all day and night in bed,
right,
in their apartment. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, look, cigarette butts being moms here. I don't know.
Right.
He's trying to, I think he's trying to.
Well, yeah, he wants to be part of it. I mean,
Yeah,
if we're not even talking about the life that they all lived, the 6 kids lived with Ben and Courtney, the life of brainwashing, in my opinion, manipulation, emotional abuse towards Courtney. Like, we saw a little bit. We need to re-upload it, but the stream we did with Ava, where we went through this Courtney stream, where Courtney was, her head was grabbed by Grace, water was poured on her. All the kids saw that stuff, so they're pretty, in my opinion, the kids were used to being brainwashed and weaponized by Grace to attack Courtney, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's wait. Joe says it's a sign that my mother is here.
Wait, Grace and Ben smoke more than anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Come on. Okay, so sorry guys, we zoom this in to not show Joey and Courtney. You can hear Courtney's voice though.
Hello. In the future, maybe you could just text me and say when you're coming over instead of this ludicrousness.
Okay, in the future, come over and say when you're coming over. She said, please bring him home. She did not want to have a conversation beyond that. And she, of course, would not go over to Ben and Grace's because there's a restraining order.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, we have to realize, you know, she is finally being, like, Grace comes in, she's finally being witnessed by a neutral third party of the cop, and then is trying to play it like she's going all the way trying to make Courtney seem crazy, or like she wasn't contacting me ever. Like, we know that's not true.
Right.
Because I texted you and asked you. I did. No, you didn't. You didn't.
Can you, by any chance, turn it up?
I'm kind of I'm sorry. Can you?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Are you able to turn up your volume though?
Yeah.
When she can't
So she says, Grace doesn't seem to understand that she can't just take Joey without my permission. She says that.
And then she says, maybe you, as the cop, could tell her. Yeah.
That's why we're busy today. That's why we're here today. Because she just picked him up while I was at work without my permission, is what Courtney says to the police officer.
That's not true. That's not.
I was hoping maybe you could tell her that she can't do that. She shouldn't try to do that in the future.
Would you just pick up at the house?
So the cop asks her, did you just go pick him up at the house, or how did you, Grace, get a hold of him? That's what the cop is addressing Grace.
Right.
My car was breaking down. I pulled over.
Again, my car was breaking down. That we know that just by the fact that there's two different stories, that this isn't entirely true.
Right. The story that Ben was with her at first, and then
in the RV, and then it turns into her car was breaking down, not the RV was breaking down.
And now she's by herself.
Pulled over in her neighborhood, which we know is a block radius from the house. Like, yeah, none of this stuff makes sense. But the fact that she's like, here, I have this perfectly planned out story for the cop,
right.
you know.
Right. You know that's not true. Just let me tell my side of the story. I pulled over in the neighborhood. I saw him walking around. It's 10:30 at night. He said he was going to get Chinese food. I said, I'll pick you up and take you to...
I'll pick you up. Another thing that I caught here was the fact that she said, you know, I was in the neighborhood and then I saw him. Then I said, I'll pick you up, which means like she contacted him, right? Like that's what that means. It's not like right. I'm sorry. I just...
Right.
I don't know. Feels funny.
McDonald's or something. And then I told her where I was going. She said, you have to bring him back now. He said he didn't want to go back. So he came over to my apartment for a sleepover. And I contacted her in the morning and said, can we arrange a pickup or something?
It's hard to hear what the police officer says. The best we could figure out was next time you get a hold of him, call Cranston to file a missing persons report. I don't know if he's telling Courtney that.
No, he's talking... I thought he was talking to Courtney just because.
Right. But wait, guys, he might be saying to Grace, if you pick Joey up, call the Cranston Police Department to tell them
where he
Joey, that you have Joey, which is really weird. I don't agree with the cop. He should be saying you just can't.
I didn't understand anything like that, like why he said what he said, or you know, it's hard to understand him.
So I think also he basically says to Courtney, maybe he's also saying if he goes missing again, file a missing persons report so we can get him.
Cranston. He keeps telling them to go through Cranston, not
they're
Warren.
In Warren. Right. We're talking about different areas of Rhode Island, guys. Different police departments.
Okay, so next time he just goes off without knowing,
You'd have to go to Cranston.
stays missing, and then the next time.
Would that still count if I communicate with her that I took him somewhere, for example?
Again, Grace is like, wait, would it be considered missing?
A loophole.
Right. Here's the loophole.
Yeah.
Here's the loophole. I'm going to text Courtney, even though she didn't do that, by the way. Courtney came home to nobody texting her or leaving her a note. Not that would even be right, but there was no information. She had to text Joey to find out where Joey was. But the idea that there's this loophole of...
Would she be able to file missing?
Would she technically be able to file a missing if I told him exactly that I have him, where he's at, all this stuff?
Right,
So she's trying to
right.
Go ahead.
She's basically saying, if I tell Courtney I've kidnapped your son, then is it legal?
Let's say I see him somewhere, pick him up and drive him somewhere.
And he's, well, yeah, I mean, so if she went to Cranston...
And I text her that.
Yeah.
I've communicated with her this entire time.
Yeah, but if she can't get in contact with him...
He's also communicated with her this entire time.
Again, a loophole.
There's a loophole.
Like, yeah. Oh, well, you know, as long as she can't get a hold of him, it would be treated that way. And then she's like, well, what if I got him to communicate with her? You know, it's like this total, you know, she has like this awareness of how to get around. And
right.
She's asking directly, like, how, like, wouldn't this not count? I didn't do anything wrong. She wants the win from the call.
Sorry, I'm so upset about this. But to me, it's like,
yeah, it's upsetting.
Like, I think Grace is using the fact that most, like I said before, like abductions of children through families are with a father or mother that doesn't have custody. Usually an older sister isn't in a weird emotional whatever she's in with Ben. Let's not even get into that. And is living with Ben all the time. That I don't think they're prepared or even understand that that's the case. So to them, it's like, well, we're not going to treat it like a normal kidnapping because I guess we know where the kid is. But like, to me, it's just
understand enough that they get around it.
So guys, this police officer is basically saying, well, we don't know. It's kind of a one-off.
Well, wait, we'll get there.
Yeah.
He does say that.
You'd have to call Cranston, like, hey, I have them, and you'd have to deal with them. But
so he's telling Grace, though, well, you'd have to call the Cranston Police Department and say, I have the kid, which to me is insane.
But I didn't do anything wrong by picking him up.
Oh, wait, by the way, she doesn't even respond to that. It's like, well, you didn't. Oh, God.
And communicating with her. He didn't want to go back with her just that night.
Yeah, I mean, she is the guardian, so I mean, this is like
meaning Courtney, is the guardian.
Right, so he's confused by it. He's like,
he's so confused.
He's like, wait.
This is a one-off thing. I don't know if this has ever happened before, but...
Right, it has happened before. We're going to learn, she's going to talk about, again, the Maggie loophole, but number one, Maggie was first taken almost to LA this summer to hang out with Darius and Nadouche in LA. And the only reason that Maggie wasn't taken, they went from Rhode Island to Boston. They were in the Boston Logan Airport, is that apparently I wasn't there for it. They had to call the cops and threaten Grace, and Grace had to give Maggie up. So that's the first time.
Wasn't it like Courtney agreed to let Maggie hang out with Grace under false pretenses? It wasn't like...
Wait.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting like... I love you. I'm just getting like so into this. Like first, apparently Courtney was possibly open to the idea of the trip, but then came to her senses and was like, no, a 13-year-old girl is not going to go on a trip with her 20-year-old sister to LA to hang out with random streamers. So that the cops were called. Grace tried to take her without Courtney's permission. That was ended. Then there's a second time a month later where Courtney, Maggie, and Grace met up at a park. Maggie went off with Grace, and I don't know, possibly Courtney was like open to the idea of Grace and Maggie hanging out, but when Courtney went to go pick Maggie up, Grace wouldn't allow Maggie to go back home. And then Courtney called the police, and then the police then said, no, we're not going to take this kid away in cuffs. And it was the whole loophole thing again. Okay, so I'm just giving you guys these two other times, okay?
Yeah.
You would have to.
It happened once with my sister, but she said she could come with me. Then she called the police. I mean, this is a.
She said she could come with me, but then she was like, can you bring her home or can I pick her up? And again, they did the whole thing. Maggie doesn't want to come home with you, Mom. She is her own legal guardian. She can do whatever she wants.
Misuse of police time.
It's a misuse of police time. You know what? He said, if I'm a missing person thing, that's what I'm going to do. You need to not do this anymore.
Right, so Courtney's very direct. Look, it's not a misuse of police time. Police should do more, in my opinion. The only reason Grace, I believe, brought back Joey is because the police were saying we're just gonna take him from you, and she didn't want there to be an incident. But so basically, she's saying, look, next time you do this, I'm gonna file a missing persons report. The end.
I can't see my sibling.
And that's it.
I
communicate.
communicate.
Take Joey home.
You're
That's
being
it.
unreasonable.
That's it. Okay.
This is ludicrous.
Yeah, we're all done. So
I'm gonna stay here with Joe. You can go, and I'll go after you.
I'm sure she really wanted the cop to be like, yeah, this lady's crazy for
Yeah,
wanting
but he
her
didn't.
son back.
Yeah.
No, but that's what Grace wanted.
wanted.
That's what she kind of maybe even
Yeah.
expected from her own delusional expectation
Yes.
of that interaction. I don't think it went the way that she thought it would. I think that Grace thought by coming in here and making her look crazy to the cop, they would get it. It doesn't work like that. They are literally burdened and they don't know what to do with it, which sucks. But
the cops,
yeah.
this is a literal, I mean, when you try to explain the Thorpe situation to other people or the way they're online in weird ways, it's a really confusing new situation. And Ben and Grace used the loophole of, I'm just their older sister taking them. But again, to me, if you tell a cop, I didn't give permission for my 11-year-old kid to be with this person, the cop should go, okay, well, that's kidnapping. I just don't see how it makes sense otherwise.
It doesn't. Well, I wish we could.
Yeah, if there's a lawyer on here that would ever talk to us about,
Mhm.
or someone who understands the law about why the cops kind of in this weird gray area, it would be awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
The Warren Police.
Yeah.
The Warren Police Department apparently sucks too.
Comment on this video.
It's completely ludicrous. All right, bye, Joe. Oh my god.
It's insane to me to donate money to Grace while she basically, in my opinion, kidnapped her brother. This is not this. I mean, this is the insane dystopia we're at, where like people are donating money while like a girl returns her 11-year-old brother in this horrific custody abuse dispute. This is fucking insane.
It is insane.
What a fucking... I love the glasses.
Courtney was wearing glasses.
Oh, finally, some content. Let's go.
Here it is. Back to the dystopia.
Yeah.
This is all content. This is content for Ben and Grace. Torture Courtney, terrorize Courtney, create content for like. This is fucking crazy.
It's crazy. I know.
It's the real crazy. People's lives are being destroyed in the name of content. I mean, we all know IP2 and all that shit. It's been happening for a while, but here it is right in front of you. Like there's all the incest stuff. There's all the kind of cult behavior that you see with Ben and the family that I see. And then there's the like technological dystopia hellscape of content of sharing everything.
Finally.
Look at all the comments. Disgusting. Actually horrific. It's terrifying. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it is like you're trying so hard to make Courtney look a certain way, but
what has she been so non-tent lately?
Anything else?
Nonsense.
Non-tent.
So, that was what it was. I don't know.
Grace, stop smoking.
Call JLP right now. You're a sad, twisted person.
Sorry, guys. I that was me. That was me.
It's cruel. It's like you watch somebody be very cruel, and it's just absolute madness. It is twisted. So yeah.
Sorry, I had to go off.
I mean, over a fucking McDonald's.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's not about McDonald's. It's nothing to do with McDonald's. You kidnapped the 11-year-old kid without telling Courtney.
Hey, I know other people who use McDonald's to kidnap kids, you know.
Yeah.
This is over McDonald's. McDonald's and a sleepover. He slept over.
A sleepover?
In my apartment. I gave him a new phone.
Imagine like a guy kidnapping a kid and he's like, this is all over me having a sleepover with a kid. Like,
that's why it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It's like also McDonald's has been like,
this is all over me just putting this kid in this van. Like, chill out. Kids can go in vans, Mom. You're being a dictator.
Chill out. You're crazy.
Yeah. They're all crazy. You're crazy for thinking that taking a kid without permission is bad. You guys are pro-clutching.
Yeah.
Because my dad's old phone, I upgraded. And now I have to meet her at the police station. What a fucking crazy. And here's the thing, right? If she doesn't think this is going to alienate her kids, my siblings, I mean, she knows. She knows that this is going to alienate them. She knows that she looks crazy. I just have nothing to say. Like,
again, here's her motive being like, look, she just admitted basically, like, this is what I really tried to push on all my siblings, like show her how crazy and and like whatever like unreasonable she is
Yeah,
about
that's the
everything.
goal, to like
Yeah.
alienate the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know what? Courtney has to take the chance to allow the kids to be alienated, because what's Courtney supposed to do? Oh, Grace took the kids. Don't want them to be upset. Okay, I just won't try to get them back. That's not how parenting works.
Well,
right?
you know that everything is about pushing and prodding Courtney to react, and then her reaction is always painted a certain way. Like she doesn't have the right or validity to whatever that is, even though she's literally pushed like to the very brink of like, I mean, like you said, like to find your kid is missing. It's literally like a terror on you. That's the worst nightmare you can imagine in terms of a scenario. So yeah.
Whatever, you can go for it however you want, but you look fucking crazy, lady.
Yeah, Grace
You
looks
look
a little
fucking crazy. Most content we've had since you got fingered by Craig. You look fucking crazy calling the cops because your older daughter took your younger son out from McDonald's and he slept over at her place and we communicated with you the entire time. Go file a missing persons report when I'm sitting there texting you, hey, I got Joe. So what's up? Because I communicate the whole time. You're the one who doesn't communicate. Naptown feasting. Saying its content looks crazy.
Naptown, I don't think Naptown's done any edits. I mean, that's a whole other thing, not to like get into other stuff, but I mean, it's fine. Naptown does edits of their stuff. I'm sure he thinks Grace and Ben, especially Ben, are insane, crazy. I guess my critique would be like just kind of editing it and not critiquing it. I have issues with. I mean, I understand people are smart enough to watch the material and make their own judgments. I'm not saying we're all babies. Like, do whatever. Naptown, do your thing. But sometimes I'm like, just looking at them as only as locals, I think lets them get away with it because they love the Naptown streams, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
I agree.
If
you make this a joke, it's easy to just discount what's actually going on.
Naptown is editing it correctly. It shows the abuse and more. I mean, that's true. I'm glad. Look, I'm not going to be a hater. I'm glad it's there. It's more digestible. The obsessors like us are the ones that watch these long ass streams. Like, fine. Maybe I'm just being a little bit of a annoying guy about it. Whatever.
Seriously, I don't think this
But
is a
it's just
serious
interesting
use
they
of
love
police
his stuff.
resources. I don't think this is a serious. Thank you for the £5. I'm sorry if I missed any super chats. Couldn't Courtney be brought up on negligence? A starving child walking around in freezing temperature isn't a good look. Yeah, I agree. I mean, bro was.
Sorry, Shamu's still around. He's doing his thing, but I think he's letting people like us and others kind of take the reins for certain things. But he's still around. He did some amazing work to showcase all this hell.
Hungry and cold. My car was not sounding right. I happened to be on Elmwood Ave. Whatever. Like, I see him. He's like, recognizes my car. And I'm like, nigga, what the fuck are you doing out here? And he's like, well, I was going to the Chinese place. And I'm like, it's 10:30 at night. What are you doing walking around? Let me just get you some food. This is crazy.
Even though he has $30 in cash out from his mother and he's walking 2 minutes to the restaurant.
Yeah.
He's not starving. He has money. It's like you're walking to Chick-fil-A and someone's like, are you starving? You have come in the car with us and go to Taco Bell with me. And you're like, well, I have $50 and I'm right at the Chick-fil-A. And they're like, you're starving. Come to Taco Bell.
Easy. Now I told my mom and she's like, you need to return her right now.
No, you didn't tell her. She had to. We know this for a fact. She had to text Joey and say, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
Nobody told Courtney where the kid was.
Yeah. No, I don't. I can have a meal with him. You're not the fucking dictator.
Again, we're about to get into this. Like, parents are dictators. Like, yeah, parents are dictators. You know what?
They have the final authority on what you do, on who you see. As long as you're not being
abused. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all legitimate, like, to say and put your foot down. If it wasn't with Grace, like, and if this was another example of like a different person, it would make it would just like be, I don't know, be unquestionable.
Look, she's trying to like be like she wants to film Courtney walking out with Joey to make fun of her, but
waiting.
Courtney smartly is like, I'm not gonna be your little like puppet to make fun of again.
Oh damn, you can't see her. Bitch, this is a free country. You want to go to your car? Go to your car. The fuck?
Trust you. So
You refused to return him? No, I didn't. I just said if he wants to go back, I'll bring him back. He didn't want to go back. I don't think parents are dictators, and I think children have rights.
Children do have rights, but like at the same time, like you can't just take a kid. I can't take a kid and go like, children have rights. That kid wanted the candy from my van. Children have rights. All right, we already saw this.
This should not be.
Whatever. We'll just get past it. That was the phone call that we played at the beginning. Feel free to.
No, wait. Oh,
those are the texts. Where do you want?
okay. I don't know why I did that.
Get out, please.
All
Thank you. Unbelievable. What does she think I'm gonna do? Bye. Bitch, I'm driving down the road. The fuck? What is wrong with you? It is content. She's making content. You don't think she's like so ludicrous?
She's making content. It's just, this isn't content. I mean, I'm glad Grace filmed this because we were able to comment on it. Grace posted screenshots, posted the recording from the beginning of the stream. Thank you, Grace, because people are getting to see the reality of the situation. We don't just have to guess.
Donald,
as like a Thor, what is it? Like a term. What do you think content would be like literally translated to here? Like humiliation, terror,
a way for us to make money, a way for us to have viewers. Content is anything that will let people follow us or make people follow us.
I guess maybe like they would argue, well, it is content because you're making this about this or whatever. It's like stupid, but
yeah. Wait, let's see what
Hans
said. I don't think this is just for content. On their way back, Ben was angry at her and directed her to do something like this to prove of loyalty or to get on his good side again. Yeah, Hans. There's kind of like a complexity, a backstory of Ben was saying if Grace wanted to go to Las Vegas to go to the AVN porn convention with Hormax, she had to like
prove that her siblings were like, yeah, she had to. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, just that he had like a timer where she had to like get her siblings to come. Like they had this plan where they wanted the kids to move into the apartment, the top floor, the second floor apartment, and this crazy plan that makes no sense. And Courtney said no to it, of course. Why? Like, so the kids and Courtney are gonna live on the top floor, and then Ben and Grace are gonna live on the first floor. Makes no sense. So this is kind of this like way of trolling Courtney, terrorizing Courtney.
Whole fucking time. You called the cops, they didn't do anything. Now I gotta drop Joe off at the fucking police station when you could have just. I didn't get a single text from her. I didn't get a text from her saying anything like, hey, can I come pick him up? All she said was, return Joseph now. Return Joey now. Yeah. And I was like, bitch, I'm not communicating with you if you're acting like this. I don't.
Wait, I'm not going to communicate you if you ask for me to return your child.
Yeah, it's a punishment.
You're not my fucking, like, I don't respect you doing this.
I don't respect you doing that.
Can you please return my son? I said you can come get him.
No, she didn't. She said
communicate with.
The only thing that she said, we'll go through it again, is that we can go at the end. I believe this is after the cops were called, but I don't know for sure because there's not a timestamp. But the final thing was go take Joey to the Dudek Lanes and play bowl, and you can come by and bowl. So again, it was like nothing to do with what she's saying.
Him. The fuck? I'm not running around returning him everywhere you want. You want him so bad? Come get him. He's fine. I took him to Cumberland Farms to get a fucking hot dog. I even told her.
Put that hot dog in your pocket.
I said she could come to Dudak Lanes, which is the bowling alley.
Dudak Lane.
Go bowling. I was like, look, I could take him over to Dudak Lanes, get him started on a lane. You could come over with Maggie and Tommy. It's the weekend, you know?
So it's
This is where
like
she goes into the affect.
Right.
She turns into
You
like
could
a
come over with
different
them
personality.
and go bowling with them, and I gotta go. You know, I got other plans, so I'll leave. And you
Got
guys
out of
can
the
just have some
plans.
family time. No response. And I get a text from my brother. Oh, she's coming over with the police. Bitch, what? Huh? Bitch, what?
Everyone said, "Let me call
What?
in." She didn't
But
post
it
that
doesn't hurt
link.
me.
She knew to.
I'm willing
Bit
to do
back.
things in a reasonable way. You don't want to do that. I don't know what to tell you. You think Joey enjoys going to the police station to get picked up? No. But that's your decision. Sorry.
So you're saying the only thing that would have worked is that you'd have to bring Tommy and Maggie. Notice they didn't say Charlie. They never say Charlie because he's not on their side or whatever. Then play and bowl with Grace or whatever. That's ridiculous.
I don't know what to tell you. You're actively alienating your own children from you, and the more they say that you suck, the more you're gonna say, oh, Grace brainwashed you. Just like you're gonna say, just like you said, oh, Ben brainwashed Grace. And it's gonna be one after the other. Grace brainwashed.
I'm sorry. I believe, in my opinion, Grace was brainwashed and worse. Because if we look at pictures of Grace from high school, she used to have on Instagram in 2018 or whenever it was, she was a much more different kid. Seemed like a happier kid, or at least a kid that has a different identity. This is all just me assuming. And
She has some form of independence.
Yeah, right? An identity that's without Ben. And then what we know, we don't have to get into it. You guys can watch other streams. What Ben began.
Tommy brainwashed Joey. Joey brainwashed Maggie. Down the fucking line we go, right? And it's you're like, how many times are you gonna say that? And then when Tommy gets a
Amelia's dealing with our crazy dog. Sorry.
Car, and he picks Joey up to say hi to him and take him out for McDonald's. Now Tommy's a child abductor, and now Tommy's gonna have the police called on him, right? And we'll just go down the line until maybe the police realize that you're using their resources to torture your children, and there's actually no harm, and they're being misused. But
it says, sorry guys, it says device is not connected. Did you exit out? Sorry, we're having a little technical issue. 1 second. What? Sorry, guys. Sorry. We're back. All right. Okay. We've got more viewers and no one there. Okay.
until then, you can get away with this ludicrousness, which only hurts you. Ben has brainwashed you all. Anyways, period. What do you guys think? I'm back from the content drought, better than ever. Better than ever.
I think that when
pretty soon you're gonna get
Ben and Grace have Courtney to contend with, there is a lot of meaning in Grace's life, particularly because Ben derives meaning and purpose
And pleasure.
pleasure out of such things, and it gives Grace,
Like attacking Courtney.
it gives Grace satisfaction to please Ben. So when she does this, it's like it really is this kind of thing, like that they are addicted to the terror and the drama that they enforce, like and bring in with Courtney involved in their lives. And
it
so
gives, well, that's the thing. It's like, in a way, Grace and Ben got along the most when they were attacking.
Right.
Courtney.
And that,
If you guys look
okay,
at old streams.
right. And a perfect example, like maybe like a cycle that they go through is like that right before this, Courtney, Ben and Grace were like fighting, you know, and it is a way for Grace to get on the good side. Can you go back? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go back.
Like,
Go back
I
a little
wanted
bit.
back. So we went back inside. The cops talked to my mom, and they came over to my sister, and they were like, "Okay."
It's about Maggie.
It's called society. It's called we live in a free country. It's called
We live in a society. She's talking about Maggie not going back with Courtney.
children have rights. It's called like somebody said in my Discord server that like parents are dictators. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yep, they are.
The cops gonna put handcuffs on her. They're not gonna put handcuffs on a kid if they're not in trouble.
That's
Loophole.
again, that's the loophole. It's that Maggie was with Grace and they were like, Ben's not here. Ben's on the second floor. So she's not near Maggie. And it's this idea that cops don't want to like grab kids while they're kicking and screaming. You know, I guess that's my best understanding of it.
She's staying with me. She's fine. My mom's acting crazier than fuck. They tell her to piss off. Okay.
I think
And
it's
the
a
thing
fail by the
is,
cops.
this is what I said. Let's see you debate bro yourself out of legal trouble. I didn't do anything wrong. I literally called the police. I called the police and I was like, my brother just said my mother's coming over. Like, I think you guys know the situation. I have my brother at my apartment. My brother just
This is
texted
what
me and said, "My
confused
mom's
me. She called the police to ask them, "Are you coming over?" or whatever.
said
That's
yes.
why it confused me, you know, because I was like,
Well, this
you
is
know.
a different time. It's in
I
the
know
day.
it is. Yeah,
coming
yeah,
over,
yeah.
police." I know what's going on. The
So is she
you call
saying the
it?
next day?
Yeah, she's talking about after
Oh, okay.
Tommy texted her. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
I guess she was an officer, but the lady at the phone, she was like, "Oh yeah, Grace, you're not in trouble. They're just gonna come over to keep the peace. You're not in trouble. You didn't do anything wrong. Don't worry about it." I was like, period, purr. Yes, sis. Pussy power.
Jeez. TikTok brained.
Courtney looked fly in her oversized glasses. You're very jealous. No, but this is what I was saying about my server, right? So like all this cop stuff and everything. I mean, I saw my brother's text to her. He was like, can we just talk? And
Yeah, I think they tried to pull something. We don't have these texts where Joey, who knows if it was Joey, texted Courtney the next day saying, "Can we talk?" And I think Courtney was meant to probably talk to Joey and they were going to manipulate her to say, "Joey will only let you pick him up if we do X, Y, or Z." And again, Courtney just refused to play the game. And it really annoyed them.
she was like, "No, I'm talking to Grace." And then she calls the cops. Or whatever happened. Then I had to tell him like, Tom just told me mom's coming over with the cops. We gotta like, you gotta wake up, you gotta get dressed. I don't know.
So the moment that the cops were supposed to come and they finally Grace knew they're not going to do the Maggie thing. They are going to get Joey and give it back to Courtney.
Yeah.
Then she
I think she was afraid. Yeah, and she was like, "We got to get the fuck out of here. Let's go. Let's get out." And so like, yeah, all they can do is run away. That's what we've learned.
I don't know what's going on.
They run away from any
So
kind of
that's her
conflict or legal shit.
To me, is just like taking him again.
Behavior towards him. She could have texted him. I'm not in charge of that. She didn't. You don't think she's purposefully alienating her own children. That's what's going on. Protect the children from McDonald's. Protect the children from getting a new phone. Protect the children. Protect them.
Protect the children from McDonald's. Again, this like weird line. It's like, it's bullshit. That's not what happened. She took Joey without permission.
Protect the children from McDonald's. It's not very nutritious, those burgers. It's not nutritious.
Well,
and
I
those
mean, it
fries are
isn't.
not good for them. No.
I mean, that's probably
What
true.
he deserves is ramen and staying home alone while mom
Wait, Chinese food isn't ramen. Okay, maybe, like, come on.
works until 11 or 12 at night. Protect the child from McDonald's with his sister, please.
This is like what makes them great at manipulating some people. I mean, I think most people don't buy it. They know you just took the kid and didn't give him back for like almost whatever it was, over 12 hours.
Please. Think of the children, okay? What rational person would take a child to McDonald's? It's unreasonable. Frankly, the police should have been called at that point.
My cat is insane.
Period. Why should she negotiate with you or a child? Oh, I don't know. Why should she have a relationship with me? I don't know.
Maybe because she can't trust you.
Yeah, she can't trust you.
She's narrowing it down to being like, oh, well, you guys are autists for saying that in the first place, that I should comply, like that Courtney should, you know.
No judge is going to try to understand YouTube kayfabe autism when you're taking kids. Right. I think the judge is just going to understand that this girl took the kid and whatever, Ben or whoever does it again, if a judge hears about it.
No, why do people have relationships with each other? I don't know. Autists in the chat not making a whole lot of sense.
What?
Guess
She's addressing
who is
the
even
person
on
who
her
said that.
side? Who's even on her side?
She's trying to protect them from what happened to
I don't know.
you. Success?
Amelia did that little edit. So, like, what did Ben do to Grace? He made sure she was successful.
Wait, let her finish. Sorry, she just that's like
Internet fame. I literally took Joey to Cumberland Farms.
Well, let's get that again.
In the chat, not making a whole lot of sense.
Thank you.
Guess who just messaged me? She's trying to protect them from what happened to you. Success? Internet fame? I literally took Joey to come
wait, finish what she says right there.
Cumberland Farms, and I made $30 on Discord.
Whoa, you made $30 on Discord with a 150 viewer count while you kidnapped your brother, right?
You got rewarded for it. Hey,
$30. Some weird simps.
He could be benefiting. Like her siblings could be all benefiting.
So is it
this.
worth the like $50 or whatever she made today or that day, like to destroy her family and terrorize her mom? And you know, those kids. Joey's going to be traumatized, in my opinion, about it, no matter what. Oh yeah, once my sister took me, and
again, it shows like
screens.
The validation of getting
like people sent me $30 to get him food.
I don't know, paying her.
Meanwhile, she's working 2 jobs now.
Oh my God, Courtney's working 2 jobs to support her children that Ben
She's crazy.
Doesn't support. I mean, I'm sorry. Even if there's a restraining order, Ben, by the way, never went to court to fight.
No,
Ben never went to court to fight the restraining order. So what? And then he doesn't. In my opinion, you should still help take care of your kids, but Courtney does it all. And it's like,
and then they make fun of her. Yeah, for doing
barely pay the bills.
Exactly that.
He's wandering the streets looking for food.
He's not wandering the streets. She gave him $30 to go get Chinese food. She knew exactly where he was.
Well, he's home alone. An 11-year-old should not be unsupervised at home alone. But yeah, I agree. He needs to be protected from that. Stop acting black. Why? Fed Up Southern Girl just said, "Let's talk. Let me on."
We don't.
We skipped that part.
We skipped it.
Grace, you need me.
This is kind of the end of the stream, but we want people to see. Watch Ben. Watch when Ben is shown in his bathing glory. He's basking in all of the chaos and pain he just caused. Watch, guys. Watch.
Your personal punching bag. Please, someone you need to take your anger out on. You need a...
Whatever, some simp. Okay, so Ben is in the bathtub.
Please don't move.
Hey, this one seems good. Princess 21.
I'm glad you're a fan of the content. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate
So, Grace, are you ready to despair of your mother? I really think you should start planning her funeral party. I'm not going to the funeral. I'm not thinking about whatever. I'm just having a party that she's no longer.
So again, Ben, they get home. Ben isn't like, is Joey okay? How did you drop him off at the police station? How did it go? He's not worried. He's in a fucking bathtub on Tinder, flopping around, saying, "Grace, are you ready to despair for your mother? And whenever she dies, throw a party." That's what the conversation is.
Sucking the air and eating the food that the rest of us can make some argument that we deserve. I think we should have death parties. Not funerals. Celebrations.
Yeah, I'm gonna get lit.
Yeah. I think you should start planning it.
Yeah.
You know, just
burn an effigy of her.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, she's making sure, you know, fuck Courtney, she's evil, you know, we're gonna celebrate when she dies. It's really fucking sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just throw darts, kick it, and just, but not like I'm angry, just like, you suck so much. You suck.
Don't get up.
You're not on this earth, and you're never coming back here. And
that sounds fun.
Wherever you're ending up is going to be the opposite place as me. I think
Look
she would.
at, Amelia, sorry, I have to say this about Amelia. She wrote, Ben is taking a victory bath for all the pain he caused today. Yep.
That. I mean, she's running around.
What else is it?
Yeah.
Alienating them while like frantically.
She's alienating them because she wants her kid to come back after being taken. I mean, to be honest, would anyone be mad if Courtney had driven over there that night and just grabbed Joey out of the house? I mean, in my opinion, she had every right to do that. But no, she did the calm thing where she let the cops tell her what to do and she chilled out. She did the thing that, you know what I mean? Like, she did the, like, okay, I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to cause chaos. Even though I think nobody would have gotten mad at Courtney if we found out she just broke the fucking door down and grabbed Joey, you know? So, yeah.
Trying to make enough money to keep this fuck show alive.
Working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
It's so ludicrous. It's just ludicrous.
I had this kid at Henrigan. It was a private school. You know, it was like,
why is it ludicrous to work 2 jobs? It's fucking normal. It's good.
$15,000 a year, and he's like, I have a single mom and she works 2 jobs so I can go to this school. I was like, I didn't say it to him, but it's kind of like, yeah, she doesn't like you, right?
So he's telling a story about how when he worked at a Catholic school, some kid told him that his mom worked 2 jobs so she could pay for a private school, and he was like, your mom doesn't like you.
This school sucks. Why doesn't she work 1 job? The reason is because she doesn't want to be around you.
What the fuck are you talking about? The reason that your mom works 2 jobs is because she doesn't want to be around you. Maybe she's trying to like pay for the kid's private school or pay for, like Courtney, she has 4 kids she has to feed.
But of course, and he was a bitch, and she had manipulated him into thinking like, I sacrificed for you. Mm-hmm. But he was a retard. He did terrible at school and he had terrible behavior because
Ben can never stay on topic.
Have a relationship with his father.
No, he's mentally ill.
It's like I had to say like, yeah, well,
he can never stay on topic. No.
I really wanted to say, you know, you should actually figure that out.
Yeah.
She's
sitting. Coping. She failed you.
So close to him.
Yeah.
She failed you.
How did she fail her kids? She's working a job. She's dealing with the hell, you know, that has happened to her, and she's doing the best she can. That's all I can say. She left the cults that is the Thorp house.
She failed as a mother, and now she's coping. All the money in the world isn't going to get a kid a good childhood.
It's not even all the money in the world. It's just like basic needs from 2 very normal jobs.
You can't make the father part of the deal. Which doesn't mean you have to be married to him, but
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, we've seen like the restraining order apparently happened because Ben, from what Courtney says, hit her in the face and her glasses were broken from that. We've actually talked to Ben about that, and Ben has claimed, "Oh, she's lying." And I said, "Well, did you actually hit her?" And he's like, "Yeah, I hit her in the face. I just didn't like punch her in the face, or I didn't slap her that hard." So
It didn't leave a mark. It just like knocked off her glasses and they broke.
Right. And then we also saw the clip that anyone can watch and make their own opinion of Ben kicking, in my opinion, kicking John while he's in the car. That's my opinion, that he hits John's leg. So yeah.
And
your
you're just
siblings will be fine. They can all walk out anytime they want.
Yeah, I think I showed that to them.
And,
yeah, I think I showed that to them.
You can come over here, whatever. You don't have to work something out. But like, why not just pick them up at the bowling alley and go bowling with them? Why do you have to turn everything into this?
You can tell it's his idea.
Yeah,
here,
you know, Ben's idea.
I know, but fully, he's like kind of like, why couldn't they just go like, you know? It's just interesting how it's like,
right. I like how we were all supposed to believe, and the cops were all supposed to believe this was all Grace. Ben was just downstairs, which, by the way, he's upstairs here. Just, you know, he totally didn't know what was going on, even though there's a screenshot that says Ben was in the RV when they went to pick up Joey. Side note,
this like police drama. Don't you think the cops are going to be at the death party too, going like,
what?
That's so stupid. I didn't sign up to play out this woman's like retarded Amber Heard fantasy.
Well, Ben, you're wrong, because the cops were told Courtney that the next day they were going to go pick up Joey from the house. That's why Grace freaked out and left.
You know, is anyone just going to say like, have you looked at Amber Heard? Have you looked at yourself? Do you notice any different?
We don't have to talk about Amber Heard, Ben, because we see the way you act on streams. Like, it's just right there every time you're on stream.
Mm-hmm.
Amber Heard was a terrible person, but like, you get it, right? You get it.
Yeah.
That's good, crazy pussy. Okay.
Again,
and you get how you'd kind of do stupid shit and whatever with someone like that.
Again, he can't keep track of things. It's like Amber Heard, but no, she's good, crazy pussy. Like he's getting off track.
Okay, and you got burned, but it's cool. Nigga, look at yourself. This is a woman who's like urinated down her leg in front of her children.
Yeah.
In a weird repeated story, yeah.
Courtney was pregnant.
Yeah. It's so fucked up. Yeah, it's awful to be like, this woman is crazy. One time when I was with her and she was pregnant. Heavily pregnant, like 8 months pregnant or something with one of our kids, she peed herself. It's like, okay, so that's why she's crazy. Like,
that's really not a big deal,
and stupid.
It's like a common occurrence, especially who knows if Ben was letting her go to the bathroom. I don't know.
Exactly, dude.
She's a buffoon.
And then he calls her a buffoon.
And, all she had to do was just realize, like, you know what? I don't have all the cards to play this game, so why don't we collab a little bit and everything.
So here it goes. Ben was saying we will give back Joey if you play our game and do the Dudek Lanes idea, right? Let's go back to the oops, I was already there. Hey mom, let's make this just a win for everybody. How about I take Joey over to Dudek Lane? Sorry, it's right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, it was this kind of do our idea so it will feel like we both won. But we're not talking about like a fucking school project. We're not talking about like, you know, a corporation trying to, collaborate with another corporation. This is a kid.
I know.
She could be going to Vegas with you now.
She could be
and
going
with
to
me and having a great time.
Why would Courtney and Grace and Ben are all going to go see Hormack? It makes no sense.
Absolutely.
Well, he's like, this could have been so much easier for you. You could be on all of this fun
that's why
that we're having.
I think we should celebrate. I got a lot of deaths I want to celebrate. I got a lot of people whose deaths I'm going to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And they can say, oh, that's a death threat. Mm-hmm. And they can say, oh, that's a death threat.
Ben
and they can say, That's a death threat. But it isn't. I'm just gonna
Amelia did that
celebrate
edit.
that. I leave it to the Lord how long he's gonna let the shenanigans go on for. And I think you should say it's been good that she hasn't died. It's been good for you. That was good content.
It was good. It
So
was
that's
funny.
all she is an occasional like content. What do you call it? ATM.
So again, it's back to this content thing. Dinosaur is saying, is this analysis all for nothing? You know, I think it's important for people to see that Ben and Grace keep doing shit like this. I know you're not attacking us or anything, man. Or maybe you are, whatever. It's all good to ask these questions. Totally chill.
Somebody else responded to them saying maybe it certainly won't help them, and we keep going back, you know.
Right.
So
I mean, again, I think we don't know all the people that are watching these things, and I want, like, if the original bullshit idea of like canceling somebody was just to warn people about somebody, I want people to be warned about what Grace and Ben are doing. They took Joey, well, Grace at least. We don't know about Ben. We can't prove Ben. And they basically got away. Grace did a stream and immediately privated it. Luckily, we were able to get this. Shout out our friend Shamu. But like, all I can say is like, I want people to be aware of what they do, because it's fucking awful and it's insane and it's shitty. And maybe
we don't
expect.
Yeah, it's not like we expect to like change them, you know, fundamentally. We really do. In our analysis, we kind of just, it's for you guys. Like, we want to
and it's also for
clarify.
Courtney, and it's also for the kids. I mean, me and Amelia came upon this in late June, and from my understanding, Courtney had already left Ben by then. And there's a group of people that I think, I could be wrong, but I think they really helped Courtney. So I think that people can help online. And I'm not saying that we're doing everything, but all I can say is we're trying to get the word out. Where if you want to watch this video and you're searching Ben Thorp, you can see that not only have they done this, and this, but also one weekend they took a kid without their permission, and they made it sound like it was all just a joke.
But it's fucked up.
They said it was content.
Yeah, it's not. It's fucked up. We want to point that out. We want to say, you know, no, this is not normal. This is not funny. Or like
it's absurd,
that people can just consume because it's dramatic. This is the family being destroyed. So it's complex because it's not like we can stop these people doing what we don't. I wish they wouldn't do something like this, you know. But
I wish they wouldn't take Joey again, or at least Grace. But I think we're kind of but at the end, I just want to say, you know, Ben.
Thank you, Laura Palmer, for saying that.
This analysis was excellent. Appreciated. Most commentators can't approach this topic without being totally confused and overwhelmed. Thank you very much. That's all that we kind of hope for, that people can see it. They can be informed about the complexity of it, because again, there's so many. Grace lies so much. There's so many loopholes. And think about fucking Courtney. Think about what she's going through. This
as a mother.
This isn't like a documentary where all this shit already happened and it's just like consume it and like have your little entertainment buzz, your Christian thing, whatever. No hate on watch, whatever. This is happening in real time. So when we comment on it, it's I want people to know this person, this family is being destroyed and terrorized. Yeah,
because how could abducting somebody's child be an act, be content? That's another question. Is like somebody else says, does anyone think this is 100% true? I just can't comprehend.
It is true.
I mean, what's the purpose in doing this? Like like, how is that like fake? You know,
they didn't.
I don't know.
Like, we can tell you, this wasn't like. The cops were called. There's a police station involved. Like, this is not fake. But
Mhm.
I think we're good. I think we did it. I'm kind of exhausted. This is a
Wait,
lot.
let's finish and yeah, we'll be done. There's not too much left.
Most people never change. Most idiots remain idiots till their dying day. And you know, they're like, I tell you this thing this priest told me once. He's like, you know, it's interesting being a priest because you see people at the end.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have this idea that like, well, when there's nothing left to lose and you know you're gonna die, you're gonna kind of get real.
Yeah.
And he's like, they never do. They never do. They'll just sit there and take it all to the afterlife with them.
You hear that?
I mean,
Because he was talking about, you know, how a lot of kids are like, oh, I love Christianity because you can do whatever the fuck you want, and before you die you can say you're sorry. And I'm like, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But the human soul
Gets used to the vibes.
it'll just, I've seen it myself, people that are just,
It's about Ben.
they refuse to be part
True.
of the,
And what way
the dance of
has
life.
Courtney not
They're just gonna
changed?
sit on the sidelines. Grace, my shoulder's killing me. Get out of here. I'm not gonna spend the
Ben
rest
will
of my
never
life
change.